I discovered my husband of several decades had been having an affair. The other woman is a young lady, just 20 years old, much younger than me. When I confronted, my husband coldly said to me, "Divorce me for her. You can have custody of the kids." My world turned black, words failing me. Moreover, he had gotten his mistress pregnant. I told our daughters about the situation. Embracing a suggestion from them, I decided to take drastic measures. "Just you wait. I'll give you back soon." My name is Natalie Johnson, 47 years old. I married John, who was the same age when I was 25, and in the blink of an eye, 20 years had passed. We have 3 daughters, the oldest in college, the second and third in high school. They're not fully independent yet, but they're at an age when they can manage things on their own. Now that the children were less dependent, I was able to immerse myself in the work which I love. I've been working for a major corporation since before I was married, and I make more money than my husband. Furthermore, the house we live in was inherited from my parents. We have no mortgage payments, allowing us to live comfortably. With the kids growing up, we had more time as a couple. One night, while we were having a beer together, my husband started speaking with a grin. "Hey Natalie, the kids aren't as dependent on us anymore. How about going on a trip, just the 2 of us like old times?" "Oh really? When was the last time we went on a trip together?" "You're always helping out around here, and we both work hard, don't we? Indulging a little won't hurt, haha." "Haha, that's true. The girls are old enough to handle things on their own. Should we leave the housework to them?" "Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll need to arrange for some time off work. Where would you like to go to?" "It might be nice to relax at a hot spring resort." "A hot spring resort? Sounds great." He started to plan the trip with a delighted expression on his face. I couldn't help but smile at his boyish enthusiasm. Whenever I had a free moment during work or my commute, I found myself checking out travel websites. The destination for our trip was gradually being narrowed down, and I'd already filled in our daughters about our plans. I was happy that he suggested the trip itself. Fast forward 1 month after our vacation discussions. I was waiting for my husband to get home so we could finalize our travel schedule. Usually, he's home by the time I return from work, but that day was different. When I got home, he was nowhere to be found, and our daughters couldn't provide any clues. His late returns were always preceded by a call, so his absence made me uneasy. If he hadn't called by the next day, I decided to call him. As I was considering my options, he finally arrived home just after 11 p.m. "Welcome home. I was worried since you were late." I rushed over to him, but his face was somber. "What happened? Anything wrong at work?" In response to my inquiry, he opened his mouth slowly. "Natalie, we need to talk." "Talk? What's up? You look so serious." "I've been having an affair." "What?" "I said I've been cheating on you with another woman." I was too shocked to speak properly. "Cheating? My husband?" In my confusion, I managed to stammer out a response. What are you saying? An affair? You wouldn't." "But I have. It's been going on for a year." A year? That's a joke, right? You showed no signs." "I tried my best to keep it from you. Meeting her after work when you were working late, telling you I was working on weekends when I went out." "No, that's a lie. You wouldn't." As if to soothe my distraught, my husband grabbed both my shoulders. Looking straight into my eyes, he opened his mouth again. "I'm really sorry, but there's no turning back now." "What do you mean no going back? Stop kidding around. We've been together for 20 years, haven't we?" "Anyway, that's the situation. I want a divorce for her." "Divorce? For her? What the heck is going on? We were just talking about going on a trip together, weren't we?" "I'm really sorry." I can't comprehend what he's saying. Has my husband been replaced by someone else? Tearfully, I confronted him and he began to explain the situation. According to his story, the woman he was cheating with was a junior at the same company. Moreover, she was a temporary employee, barely 20 years old. She started to work at his company about a year ago, and somehow he became her mentor. After work, he began to tutor her, and they started to have coffee breaks together. After going out for dinner a few times after work, they fell into a romantic relationship. "She's so innocent, cute, and she can't do without me." "You've got to be kidding, and she's 27 years younger?" He talks about the charm of her. I feel as if I have no charm. Then he dropped a huge bomb. "You remember me saying I want a divorce for her sake? To be honest, she's pregnant." "What? Pregnant?" "Yeah, so I think I should take responsibility and marry her. Luckily, our girls are becoming less dependent." "Hold on a minute, that doesn't matter, right? Those girls are our daughters, you know." "Don't worry, I'll give you the custody." "What?" While we're having such an important conversation, my husband's eyes are gleaming with a calm smile. Does he really think that if he gives up custody, I'll just accept this? I felt like I was being made a fool of, and the sadness that I had been feeling began to turn into anger. Before I knew it, I was yelling louder than I ever had before. Don't be absurd. This is too much.
There's no point in saying that, right? The life that's about to be born is more important to me now.
Why then did you say let's go on a trip as a couple? I was really looking forward to that trip.
I didn't think she was pregnant at the time.
So, if she hadn't gotten pregnant, you would have kept cheating on me in secret, is that it?
Well, anyway, I'm bringing her over tomorrow. Let's talk things over then.
With a quick change of subject, he brought the already filled out divorce papers and rushed to the bathroom. What the hell is going on? He confesses to an affair out of the blue, then says the woman is pregnant? How much more can he mock me? Having prepared dinner for him and waited, I feel like such a fool. I was tormented by my chaotic emotions. However, no matter how much my anger built up, the situation wouldn't change. I decided to confront my husband's affair head on. The next day, as he said, he brought over his mistress. I told our daughters to stay in their rooms and had my husband and his mistress sit on the couch. The woman, who introduced herself as Lisa, bowed to me as soon as she sat down. I am truly sorry for all of this. Your apology doesn't help. My husband and I have 3 daughters. I understand that, but for the sake of our child in my womb, could you please divorce John? What? Why should I have to destroy my family for the sake of your child? At her nonchalant request for divorce, I lost my temper. I raised my voice yelling, "Don't be ridiculous," and she covered her mouth with her hand as if she pretended. Ugh. With that, my husband looked at her with concern.
Hey Lisa, are you okay?
I'm sorry, John, I'm feeling a bit...
Must be morning sickness, right? What do you want to do? Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Thank you. Can you show me the way?
Of course, come this way.
I saw my husband being more gentlemanly than I had ever seen him before. He helped Lisa out, looking a bit hesitant when she returned from the bathroom.
Lisa, take it easy, all right? We've got our precious little baby inside you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When Natalie yelled at me, I got suddenly scared.
I'm sorry, you're right. If she had agreed to divorce straight away, we wouldn't be in this mess.
No, it's okay. This is a trial we have to overcome in order to be together. They smiled and held hands like a scene straight out of a movie. At that moment, my feelings for my husband froze at a tremendous speed. If you had just agreed to an honest divorce, what, you think it's my fault? It wasn't you who cheated on me in the first place? If this happens, I'll divorce you or whatever. I decided to agree to the divorce because further discussion was getting ridiculous. Shortly thereafter, I removed my husband and his unfaithful partner from the house and locked the door. My daughters emerged from their rooms, probably having heard us. Mom, is what we heard true? I gave a small nod to my eldest daughter's question. I couldn't hide it anymore. I called my daughter to the living room to talk about my husband's affair. So, we're getting a divorce. I want you girls to decide who you want to be with from now on. In response to my words, my daughters all said together, well, obviously we're sticking with Mom. Right? But it's unfair if Dad doesn't get any sort of punishment. Exactly. Let's get back at him and his new mom. Immediately afterwards, my daughter suggested a plan. My children are very clever. I was surprised at what they suggested, but I took them up on it and decided to put on a show. A few days later, I called my husband and told him that I needed to talk to him about alimony. When he came to visit me, I immediately started to talk to him. I'll be asking for a proper alimony payment after the divorce. As for custody, you can have it. At my words, my husband rolled his eyes. Huh? Then our daughters appeared. When he saw them, he opened his mouth as if he is upset.
Hey, you all. Wouldn't you rather live with your mom, huh?
Why? We're obviously going with you, Dad. Who we choose is our business, isn't it? After all, a dad's income is more stable, right?
Hold on. Natalie, your mom earns more in this house.
The daughters nonchalantly brushed off their father's desperate persuasion. It's okay. As long as we get our usual pocket money, we're good. Right? As long as us 3 sisters stick together, that's all that matters. Exactly. In fact, Dad, you should feel honored we're choosing you.
Well, that is...
Although he seems confused, he had no choice but to accept his children's decision. He had always been a pushover when it came to his daughters. My husband reluctantly agreed that he would have custody of the children. Since my husband is the cause of the divorce, there will be no child support payments from me. We decided to divorce, strictly collecting the alimony from him and his mistress. The next day, we submitted the divorce papers to City Hall. The alimony was $30,000 from my husband and $15,000 from his mistress. We received the entire amount at one time. Our daughters would stay at my house on weekends and live with their father and mistress during the rest of the week, though their new home was a small apartment where the mistress had previously lived. Living with 5 people in such a small space must have been quite uncomfortable, but that was all part of the plan. Just wait and see. I'll make sure they regret betraying me and our daughters. 2 months later, just when I was thinking it might be about time, my ex-husband and Lisa barged into my house.
Hey, what the hell is wrong with them?
Dealing with those spoiled brats is impossible. I lost my temper. The two of them, faces red and panting heavily, complained together. In response, I replied calmly, "Could you not be rude? All 3 of them are my pride and joy daughters. They are all good kids."
Don't give me that. What makes them good kids? They're always complaining, "I want an expensive meal," or "I don't get enough allowance," every single day.
Exactly, and why do we have to pay for their tuition and textbooks? No one told us about that.
Well, isn't that a given? After all, you two are their parents. Our home is too small. I've never heard of a family of 5 living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yes, that house was originally rented for me to live alone. The neighbors on both sides keep complaining, and even the landlord keeps saying that please move out.
Well, that's your own fault. Besides, if the girls say we want Dad to have custody, then there's nothing you can do about it.
Ugh, both of them were speechless, their expressions bitter. After a long silence, John lowered his head and spoke in a small voice.
Please, take them in.
Huh? What did you just say?
I said take them in. We're about to have a baby. If we keep giving in to the girls' demands, we won't be able to raise our child properly.
Huh? Raising them is also a part of parenting, you know. Stop complaining.
When did you become such a heartless person? You don't understand other people's feelings. You're the worst.
He was livid, face turning red as he yelled. I let out a big sigh and spoke in an inciting tone. Don't understand other people's feelings? You're the worst? Are you talking about yourself?
What?
Who cheated, made a baby with mistress, and said, please divorce me for her? Who was the one who betrayed me first and did the worst thing? Do you remember?
That's in the past. Don't bring that up again.
It seems he still doesn't understand how selfish he's being. He's now blaming me, together with his mistress. I didn't hold back and said, enough is enough. It's in the past. Don't just neatly wrap things up on your own. Do you know how the girls and I felt? It's not like we weren't hurt when you betrayed us. Despite all this, you keep being selfish.
But I apologized for the affair, didn't I? Just take them in, please.
Fine, I will. I feel sorry for the girls to stay with such a bitch like you. But in return, make sure you pay child support, alright? You have a responsibility as their father until all of them grow up and become independent adults.
But on my salary alone, I can't possibly.
Shut up! Don't you dare play the victim now. You should have thought of that before you got your mistress pregnant. Now get out of here and never show your face to me again. His face turned pale and he collapsed on the spot. After hanging his head down for a while, he whispered to Lisa, "Let's go home." At that moment, Lisa, who had been silent up to now, gave his cheek a big slap. Don't joke with me. I ended up in debt even after paying alimony, and now you're saying child support? You've got to be kidding. What's the point of lying then?
What's going on, Lisa? What do you mean by lie? Aren't we supposed to raise our child together?
There's no child!
What?
Time stopped for a moment at the unexpected revelation of his mistress. He began to question her.
No child? Then our child is...
The pregnancy was a lie. I just thought you were rich and that's why I wanted to marry you.
What are you talking about, Lisa? That's a lie, right?
The house you were bragging about was actually your wife's, wasn't it? I can't even get a house, be charged for alimony, and be forced to take care of stupid girls? I've had enough. There's nothing good in marrying you. Divorce me right now.
I can't believe this.
My ex-husband clung to Lisa with tears in his eyes. Out of my way. Move. I'm leaving. She pushed him away and left the house. My ex-husband, who was thrown away by his mistress, immediately knelt down on the ground and begged me.
Please forgive me. Give me another chance.
No matter how many times he begs, I, of course, turned him down. I promptly drove him out of the house and called back our daughters at that time. After that, I officially regained custody of our daughters and demanded child support from my ex-husband. The payment of child support for 3 children must have been a heavy burden for him, who had exhausted his savings by paying alimony. Moreover, other employees witnessed the dispute between him and Lisa at work. The news about their relationship spread rapidly. Lisa's contract was terminated, and my ex-husband was relegated to a less important department. His salary was reduced, and with an even tougher life ahead, with nothing left for him, he seemed to be struggling just to make ends meet each month. Now he reportedly can't even afford proper meals and appears to have become quite snobbish. When I told the story to our daughters, they high-fived each other with broad smiles. The daughter strategy was a great success, and the 4 of us celebrated. From now on, a life of 4 women begins. Even without a father, I want to take responsibility as a parent and raise my daughters to be fine adults.